Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Path to 1 Million. This is episode 65. My name is Cliff. Yesterday was our annual family reunion. Someone asked me how long these things have been going on. I don't know. I've been on this planet now for a handful of decades, and as far back as I can remember, they have been going on. They've been going on since before I was even born. But I would probably hazard a guess to say that maybe it's between 60 and 70 years that these reunions have been going on. It really is one of those family traditions, which is really cool. And I really do have to get a hat tip to everybody who comes from across the U.S. to this event. I know I've got family members that have come from Tennessee, some from North Carolina. Of course, I came from California as well. And with my uncle being the oldest, he's 91, he makes the trek every single year to come to the reunion. And it really is good to spend the time, get to see everybody, get to catch up on their lives and what's going on. And of course, Facebook has made us a lot closer, which is really cool. But it's just a really nice time for the handful of hours that we get to spend on a Saturday in that park in Frankenmuth. Of course, in the middle of this, I received a text message from AirBnB. Now, when I came to Michigan, I decided to Airbnb out my house while I was here. And truth be told, I wasn't sure how long I was going to be in Michigan for. But I said, you know what? While I'm here, I know I'll be here for about 3 weeks. I said, I will just go ahead and Airbnb out my house while I'm in Michigan. So I got the house ready to put on Airbnb. I listed on the app. I put a pretty good price online for it, and I submitted it. And sure enough, people started booking it right away because Long Beach, California is a really nice area for people to vacation, especially in the summertime. And it's been in the mid 70s there, so the temperature has been perfect. One guest in particular, she booked the house, and I sent her the instructions on how to get into the house, where she could find the lockbox with the keys. I put all of that inside of a video, and in the video I explained this is how the TV works, this is how the air conditioner works, this is how the showers work. Basically, it was just standalone. If there's one thing that I have learned working with media, is you always let media do the heavy lifting for you. So rather than me being there and explaining to every person that shows up, just shoot them a video and sent it. I have had really good luck with this before using the video, and people kind of like it. One of the things that when people do Airbnb is they like to be able to just get into the house, get access to everything that they need to do all on their own. If the more the owner stays away, the better, because people really do want to make this house feel like their own. And I'm totally cool with that. And as an Airbnb user, I have done that before myself. So I really like it, and I really do appreciate it. Well, it was about 2 or 3 days before I was supposed to leave when I got a message through the Airbnb app. And the lady who booked the house for this weekend asked me if she could have the address for the house because she was having a package sent there. This has happened before, not a big deal. And I sent her the address. And of course I asked her, I was just curious and just trying to make conversation. I said, what's the package? And she said, well, I was staying at an Airbnb in San Francisco and I forgot my bag. So the owner of that Airbnb is shipping my bag down to me in Long Beach. That gave me pause for a second, because with me being out of town, if she does something like that when she gets to my house, she's not going to be getting her bag anytime soon. Because as I said before, I'm not 100% sure exactly when I'm going back. And I will not be asking the cleaning crew to take care of that. But anyways, the little feelers kind of go up on the back of my neck, like this lady here is going to be a little bit special. So she checks into the Airbnb, and I'm already in Michigan at this point in time. And from the moment that she's arrived, she's asking questions about everything. And a lot of the questions that she asked me, first off, would have been answered if she had taken the 3 minutes to watch the video. How do I turn on the TV? How does the shower work? And I sent her a message and I said, all of this is explained in the video. And she sent me a message back and said, can't you tell me? And I messaged her back and I'm like, it'll be faster for you to watch a 3-minute video than it would be for me to spend 20 minutes trying to type up an explanation as to how the TV works. She watches the video, she comes back, she goes, oh, that was very easy. Thank you for that. So periodically she would come back and she would ask me questions. Where is the hair dryer? Where is this? Where is this? And I really believe that she didn't read anything that had to do with the Airbnb listing. And I'm spending all of my time continually messaging her back saying, you know, if you had read the listing, I don't provide a hair dryer. I don't provide this. I don't provide that. So she's saying, okay, it's not a big deal. Morning, Nancy. She's saying, okay, it's not a big deal. It's not, you know, big issue or anything else. And, you know, my thing is I'm just getting annoyed because she's messaging me all of the time. Whenever she's got a little question about anything, she messages me rather than just enjoy her time, rather than be on vacation. Well, part of the instructions that I sent her was that in the lockbox where I keep the keys, I always put 2 keys in the lockbox. And I told her, everybody who stays at Airbnb, I said, keep 1 key in the lockbox at all times so you don't lock yourself out, and take the other key with you. Well, she sent me a message yesterday in the middle of the reunion that she had locked herself out. She left both keys inside of the house. Oh boy. So now all of a sudden on a Saturday, I have to see if I can find a locksmith, which is not going to be cheap, to go over there and open the door. So I sent her a message. I remembered I had a buddy in the area who has copied the key. So I sent her a message I sent him a message and I said, hey, could you go over there and just let my Airbnb guests into the house? And he told me, he said, Cliff, I am north of LA right now. I'm going to be here all day. I probably won't get back there at least until midnight, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. So that is not an option. And I recognize that. So I sent her a message and I said, my friend is not available. I'm going to have to call a locksmith. And she says, okay. So I called a locksmith, got one over there on a Saturday. He got into the house, no problem. I told him where he could find the keys, which he did. He put them back in the lockbox. And I sent the lady a message and I said the locksmith was able to get into the house. So he left the keys back in the lockbox. You can get in there whenever you want. And she says, great. She says, we know it's your fault. She said, we know it's our fault. How much did the locksmith cost? Well, the locksmith charged $65, which I think is a really stealing deal, considering it was a Saturday, considering that any number of things, you know, could have happened or prevented that from happening. I told her, I said, yeah, it is $65. And she writes back and she says, oh, that's way too expensive. We would much rather wait for your friend to show up. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. She's not interested in taking responsibility, paying this $65 for the locksmith guy to come through. She would rather inconvenience my friend and make him come over there at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning just to save her $65. That's not going to fly. Besides, I already had the locksmith out there anyways. I cannot leave the guest sitting outside of my house all day long. This would have left bad reviews online, and that's not the kind of person I am. I wanted this problem dealt with because the thing is, I would have thought about it all day. You know, the sheer fact that they couldn't get into the house, it would have clouded my brain for the rest of the day. It was bad enough this was already happening in the middle of the reunion, let alone now I have to think about this all day long. So she got in there. So anyways, I told her point blank, I said, I've already talked to Airbnb, which is true. And they said, make sure you capture everything in writing, which I force all communication through the app inside of Airbnb. That is something that I learned in business a long time ago. When it comes to these kind of negotiations or whatnot, I don't do a whole lot on the phone. I do a lot of it via email so I can capture it in writing. And in writing, she very specifically states, this is our fault. We're okay with it. How much does he charge? We'll go ahead and pay it. And when I told her $65, she said, oh, that's too expensive. So I've referred this to Airbnb because I think they really should pay it. It's their fault. I even reminded her that it was in the written instructions, which she did not read, but it's actually in the instructions telling her specifically leave 1 key in the lockbox at all times versus having both keys either with you or leaving them in the house, whatever that might be. So, you know, the thing is, if you're going to accept responsibility for it, you need to accept responsibility for it. And this has happened multiple times in my life where somebody has stepped up and said, you know, this is my fault. But when it actually came time for them to assume the responsibility, it's different between claiming responsibility and assuming responsibility. when it came time for them to assume that responsibility and make things right, they just failed to do so. That is a character trait that really just rubs me raw. People accept responsibility, but they don't assume responsibility. So with that being said, I don't know how that's all going to turn out, but like I said, I've submitted the matter to Airbnb, and I will let them go and fight that battle, because I don't think it's something I should have to pay because somebody just does not have the level of responsibility in their life that they need to. Anyways, that's all I have for today and for this particular story. This afternoon, Sherry and I are going to be heading down to Detroit Tigers to watch them play the Blue Jays. I haven't been to a Tigers game in forever, so I'm looking forward to that, and I'm glad that the heat broke. Storm came through yesterday, and it seemed like it went from like 100 degrees to 80 degrees in like an hour, which is awesome. It's great, so I won't be melting while I'm watching the game today. Anyways, I wanted just to share that with you, and I hope you guys all have a fantastic Sunday. I do have some more stories from the reunion that will be popping up over the next few days. Some great things happen, some cute observations that I made along the way, and I want to share those with you as well. But anyways, I hope you guys have a fantastic Sunday, and yep, get a key button lock and people can use their phones. You know, Nancy, I would absolutely love to be able to do that. However, my door is the original door that came with the Craftsman house back in the day. It's a 6-pin lock, and the traditional button locks won't work on it. I'd have to re-drill the holes, and it would actually destroy the door. And that door is absolutely beautiful, and I won't do that. And with the other guests that I've had stay in Airbnb, nobody's ever had an issue. They actually appreciate the fact that I kept the house in its original condition. So anyways, that's the reason why I don't have it, but I'd love to, but there you go. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys later, and have a fantastic Sunday. See you then.